right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and squirrels, welcome to one of many podcasts on planet Goddang Earth, where we review everything and anything as long as it's on Joey's list, and apparently had something to do with a comic book or maybe a like a video game. Pretty much it's superhero based, but not really. But kind of, but not really. But kind of, but not really. This is Rundown Reviews. I am the guy who did the introduction. And I'm an honest cop, and we're all the same, that's for sure. I'm Big Chuck.
I love it. Thank you, Chuck.
Oh, it gets worse.
Awesome. Oh,
it gets
God.
worse.
Oh, God. Do you have one for all of us?
Yeah, let me introduce you, the host. No, just you, Joe. Because otherwise it gets too confusing for me. He's Joe. Doesn't see a reason why Bozo would be a problem in today's society. Janero.
Damn.
Joe, welcome to your own show.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that one.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
To be fair, I edited that because what I had originally written was Janero didn't see a problem with Bozo dropping a hard R over and over again. That's what I originally wrote, and I thought to myself, maybe too much for the first introduction.
Look, I see a problem with Bozo from the get-go, but we'll get to that. Also with me,
he is the prime example of why we should take men's mental health seriously.
Yeah.
He's stressed, man.
Yeah.
They're stressed.
He's not the bad guy in this movie. And for the next hour and a half, I'm gonna prove to you why.
At least for the next hour. Let's be honest here. We got somebody that needs a hard hour.
I'm gonna keep going for an hour and a half.
Is Jordan. How you doing, bud?
Hey, no ticky, no washi. I'm here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
shocked. Can I just say I'm shocked, Chuck, that you made it through that whole thing without actually saying Elite Eight Showdown.
Well, he's done it a couple times already. He had practice.
Okay. I've done it a few times, and the first time I almost did Elite Eight Showdown.
The first time he almost killed Ron and I. That was pretty fun.
That's true.
That's
true. I just came out of nowhere with it.
That's episode actually is going to be going up this week, I think, because I think it was a Blade episode. And that's going up this week.
You're messing
up. So wouldn't it have went up the past week then, or
yeah,
something
I was gonna
say
you're messing with a lot of time right now. It's
God damn it, Joe! You're fucking up the timeline again.
Look, I have it. Just deal with it.
Didn't also you read Flashpoint or something?
Ronald, eventually. Ron is here, my co-host.
Hey, everybody.
Obviously, Chuck is another co-host, and it is what it is. So today we watched.
I prefer featured guest.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you said that.
Too much responsibility being a co-host.
We are. Ask Ron what his responsibility is.
I'm doing it right now, all right?
Literally what this is. We watched Toxic Avenger from 1984. This movie,
the year I was born,
is a movie.
Okay. Wait. Disclaimer. This movie is offensive. This movie
100%
does not age well at the time that it came out.
This movie
that
also
being
correct.
Said, for the next hour, I am going to gush about how much I love this movie. and Jordan and I are going to get into so many arguments over this, I can already tell.
Hang on.
Because watching this... Yes, go ahead.
This movie is not offensive. This movie is a satire. Satires cannot be offensive.
It is a satire. You are correct on that one. However...
It could still definitely be offensive.
It can still be offensive. There's
as my liver will tell you, because I played a game while I was watching this movie called "Drink Every Time Something Offensive Happens." Thankfully, I was only sipping on things because
you even put there in the Discord when you said that you were probably drunk within 5 minutes.
I said at least 30 minutes because I was only sipping on drinks.
15 actually.
Yeah, something like
every time I feel bad about myself in this movie.
The thing is, the satire that they were doing was people take things way too seriously. So that's the satire that we're going to specifically target.
Mm-hmm.
Not the representation of government or cops, not the representation of toxic masculinity, nothing like that, because none of that even existed in the 70s.
Oh, come on.
You know
Jordan's right here representing toxic masculinity.
I know. I am the toxic masculinity, guys. That is right.
Now, here's a quick question, because I think Chuck and Ron and I talked about this before. Jordan, have you seen this movie before?
No, I have not.
Chuck and Ron, I believe you both said you had.
Oh, yes. Many moons ago.
This is my second time watching it, and the first time I had watched it was during COVID. So like
Okay.
it hasn't been that long.
Okay,
I
I know I
but
watched it when I was
this
probably under 10, but I probably shouldn't have.
wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, not a great choice for you
Oh.
as a child. I did, however, watch Toxic Crusader as a child.
Yes. Watched that all
Unaware
the
that this was completely the thing that spawned Toxic Crusader.
Well, I think I watched
um,
Toxic Avenger because I watched Toxic Crusaders. Because
Right.
it's,
And
you know,
much like my mom taking me to Starship Troopers when I was in second grade because I used to watch Roughneck Starship Troopers, not appropriate for children.
no.
Not a good I don't understand this common theme of let's take a unbelievably offensive, gratuitous movie and then make it for children.
The 80s, dude, that's like every cartoon in the 80s had that because like not every cartoon, but like there were
Yeah, but-
so many of them back in the 80s because they just wanted to sell toys and they knew that at that point adults weren't buying toys. If they could see 30 years into the future, they might have realized there's a source for it, but back then, no way.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s, that's just the toy brands run rampant to get people to create a cartoon to then keep the property going.
I want to know in Toxic Crusader, was he still dating a blind chick who was literally Mr. Magoo?
I
With
think
tits.
yeah, I think because I did a little research on the next three Toxic Avenger movies that we will watch on this show.
Love
He's
that
got a
place.
blind girlfriend, but the name changes every time.
I saw
Yeah.
that because I also read all the plots of the other movies because that's all they deserve in my opinion.
Too bad we're gonna watch them.
I love that season 2 was kind of like Cobra Kai. We're like, what if he goes to Japan? You know,
Basically, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
great.
And it got weirder. Weirdly enough, it gets weirder because then they got more of a budget and it got
And then they did the whole
there's like what more absurdity.
they did the whole Halloween reboot thing. Or like only the first movie exists. The fourth movie, the other two don't exist. It's straight sequel. It's like what's going
Well,
on?
and the fourth movie had Stan Lee as the narrator.
So
And
weird.
well, yeah, it's also allegedly they're remaking this. Last I saw, it's still in production as of like January 2022. It's still in production. Peter Dinklage is attached to it.
Is it still
Elijah
Tromaville
Wood.
doing it though?
I believe so.
It
I
is.
believe
It is, yes.
Troma and the other guy who helped create this are going to have a hand in it.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
yeah.
I thought it was interesting that in the because they have 2 movies in production right now, Toxic Avenger 5, and then the reboot, like you said. And what I found interesting is I was reading an interview, and the Michael dude or whoever it was, Kaufman or Kotzman or whatever, said that James Gunn did a work on the script because they're really good friends. And I'm like, okay, that's the way to name drop, man. There's no way James Gunn did anything more than read it and go, yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna make it have a serious take on it, there's a good possibility he could have.
Wait.
He could do the once over,
Can you have a serious take on this?
especially with Lloyd Kaufman involved. Probably not. if it's still attached to the Troma universe, probably not.
I love that Troma is a whole universe. Like Tromaville, like multiple movies they made take place in this like weird town.
What was it? There was a movie called Postal I watched maybe 10 years ago. And yeah, I believe that one takes place in Tromaville as well. And it's literally
Is that like the Poltergeist?
No, Postal.
Oh,
Like
Can
because
we-
he I
Like
believe
based off the video game Postal?
Yep.
Oh man, that's got to be brutal.
It's not
Yo,
good.
I remember them.
There was
I
one
remember that.
scene in particular where I think he shoots up a bunch of babies. I don't remember.
Oh god.
It's weird and it's played for laughs, but it's still made in the Troma style of movies, and the Troma movies have a specific mystique about them, I guess. I don't know.
They're
terribleness.
Grindhouse.
That too.
They're Grindhouse movies. That's the
They're
whole
not even-
concept. This is like a higher production of Grindhouse.
No, I feel
Or
like
they're
this
a
is
satire of Grindhouse? Maybe?
yeah, I
satire
feel like
of
they're like a satire of Grindhouse because they're like fully like Grindhouse takes itself seriously, where I feel
Yeah.
like these are making fun of Grindhouse movies while still in the same aesthetic.
But I also think that this one, specifically Toxic Avenger, because it's the first Troma movie, yes, there's a lot of satire, but it was still trying to take itself a little seriously, similar to how Evil Dead, the very first Evil Dead movie, was taking itself seriously. And then by the third one, they're like, well, fuck, we know what we are, so let's just...
Yeah, Evil Dead 2 was just making fun of the first movie. Was this the first Troma film?
I believe it was.
I thought they started in the 70s, man.
I mean...
This is probably the first one that got any recognition, that's for sure. That is definitely for sure.
This is the first one that wasn't shot with the their mom's camcorder and the...
Yeah. Exactly. Dude, okay, so speaking of Troma, I wanted to go through some... I looked up Troma's, like, some of their movies. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I thought maybe I would have, like, caught one. I thought maybe Parents was a Troma film. It wasn't. But I wanted to read some of... I know, sorry, Krager. I wanted to read some of the film titles. I'm like, okay, this piques my interest. Killer Condom. I just imagine like rubber, but like what rubber should have been. Instead of a tire, it's a condom just going around blowing people's heads up. And then Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. I mean, who doesn't want that?
Dude, I want to watch it, honestly.
Is Thanksgiving part of it? Because that would be amazing.
If Poultrygeist and Thanksgiving, it was like Jason versus Freddy.
Thanksgiving, such a freaking...
That would be amazing. I would love that. And then
you were right. It did start out in the 70s. This was just the first one that kind of was a big hit.
Yeah, big hit by more than 12 people watched it. And then the final movie I want to watch is Surf.
That's still a hit, Jordan.
Hey, it's more listens than my podcast ever got. Then Surf Nazis Must Die. I want to watch this one because one, I want to see what a surf Nazi looks like, and two, I love when Nazis die. So
when did
what about isn't there like a nuclear high or something like that?
Oh yeah, Nuclear High. It's set in Troma film.
What's that one called? Yeah, there is. The Class of Nukem High.
I was close.
You know, just for
it's right a whole now, series.
Right now, for just $4.99 a month, you can get yourself Troma Now, the streaming service that gives you access to all Troma movies.
Look,
they just mispronounced trauma, which is what was given to every kid that watched this movie.
There's a Tromeo and Juliet.
Yes.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure that's the one James Gunn wrote or directed. James Gunn got his start at Troma.
Yeah. This one was directed by Kaufman with a screenplay by Kaufman and James Gunn.
There you go. Romeo and Juliet. Also, did you guys see the Marissa Tomei pop up in this movie?
So that's the director's cut.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw her.
Did you watch it on Tubi?
I did. Was she not the shower chick?
Well, I didn't see the face. But,
she was the chick who ran out of the shower. At least I looked it up because I didn't believe it.
Was that the very beginning?
No, it was like in the middle-ish end area.
Okay, I must have overlooked it.
I didn't believe this trivia, so I looked it up, and even Reddit was saying that's her. So I mean,
thought about pausing it and looking, and then I'm like, I don't really care.
Well,
no, but yes, you are correct. That is part of the trivia that apparently a lot of people are saying that. Yeah, IMDb said it's part of the director's cut. I don't know if the director's cut was on Tubi, and I didn't feel like paying for the director's cut, so
I just got Troma Now, so I watched
exactly. Watch any cut you want.
Here's the thing: you're going to get a lot of weird charges to your credit card now, so just keep track of that, just in case.
That's okay. I have like 20 credit cards. I just cancel them after I do this, so that I never get charged again. It's all good.
I actually think she's hotter the older she gets.
Well, yeah.
Who, Claire, the blind chick?
Shout out to
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ron doing the hard research for us. We appreciate
seriously.
That,
He's like, don't worry, I got you over here. I'm good. I'll look at all these pictures and tell
Ron looking at half-naked women. Weird.
Look, all right. I have one job on this podcast, okay?
Yeah. It is weird. I'm shocked they're only half naked, honestly, Joey, at this point.
Well, wait, look. The object is to find them completely naked.
Which will...
but doesn't always happen.
Marissa Tomei's a lady.
Journey,
Marissa Tomei does get topless in quite a few movies, actually. She was one of the first pair of tits I fell in love with, so let's not even go there.
True confessions, my life addicted to Marissa Tomei's boobs.
So I have got...
Oh, are we still... I thought we were talking about Marissa Tomei's boobs. I was saying it's a movie that had Christian Slater in it and somebody else.
Heather.
Oh, we both went Heathers. Nice.
But no, it wasn't that one.
All right, so let's
It's
actually
the
talk
only
about
movie that I
Toxic
can remember
Avenger
using.
here.
Yo, how do you even want to dissect this absolute masterpiece?
Should you do like a quick plot breakdown and then we can just go through and say everything that's
So
wrong with this movie?
the quick plot breakdown is Melvin is this doofus that works at this gym.
Do you think he's actually mentally handicapped, or just is he supposed to be like Chunk? Because he sounded like Chunk to me from the Goonies anytime he talked.
I think he was a sheltered child.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
I got that vibe too.
When he goes into the bath, he's got a picture of mommy on the wall.
Oh, that's weird. That's some
I think he was very sheltered. And so he works at this gym as the mop boy who does a terrible job mopping everything up. The other residents, or not, what's the right word?
Clientele.
Thank you. Residents that live there apparently pick on him, and because it's New Jersey and everybody hates New Jersey, they are the toxic waste dump central, I guess. I don't know why Ohio is shipping that train derailment to Indiana then and now over to New Jersey, but here we are. He inadvertently,
because then they make super genetic superheroes. That's why we can't have that. We can't give Jersey more ability to do things.
We don't need Indiana with the rednecks.
That's what happened to Florida. Okay, we made the mistake and we started shipping all our toxic shit down to Florida, and now that's where we're at. And look what happened. We don't need that up here. Okay,
Untamed Hearts is a movie where you can see Marissa Tomei's tits.
Thank you, Ron.
Coming in. I was going to say, though, just imagine the cast of the Jersey Shore as the Toxic Avengers. Like, we don't need that. No.
Wait, is that why they're all orange?
Yes, exactly.
So he gets dunked in this toxic waste and then turns into Toxic Avenger, which inadvertently makes him super tall, super strong, and he's got a vengeance to kill bullies.
Ooh, and he also learned how to talk properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had a great voice. I liked his voice. He's like, hello there, ladies.
His voice got a lot deeper.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he finally hit puberty. You heard his mom.
Yes.
Yeah. God, that was... Yep.
Don't worry, Mom.
That was the least offensive comment in this entire movie.
It was.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So Chuck brought it up earlier. We're going to talk about Bozo and Slug and their girlfriends, Wanda and Julie, I believe her name is. Bozo and Slug are a bunch of pieces of shit who... so I got a question. They're doing this point system when they hit people. This is not the origin of that, right? Like, this has been in other films, right?
Wasn't it slightly in A Clockwork Orange?
I
don't know if they did a point system, but didn't they run some people down in their car in A Clockwork Orange? And I got a lot of vibes of A Clockwork Orange in this movie. Like they were trying to, and a little bit of the Warriors too, with like all these weird groups of.
Are you talking about Cigar Face?
Yeah, like Cigar Face or like the painted dude, and literally the Mexican restaurant called the Mexican Place.
Which
and then they had samurai swords on the wall.
Yeah, like
I had that written down. No, I asked about the point system because that's something I jokingly say with my daughter every time we're in the car.
10 points for the old man
walking across the street.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh yeah, that's worth X amount of points. And so I never knew where it came from. And if this is the movie where it came from, fuck.
Probably. I thought when I first saw their little like decals on their car where it had like women, children, and like dogs X'd out, I thought that was like, oh, they have enough moral compass, they won't hit those people. They're just gonna hit like men. I'm like, oh no, these are the people they're trying to hit.
They hit everything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was a list of what they have hit so far.
Gotcha.
The kid on the bike and then them running over his head.
Goodness.
Whew. I will say this: the practical effects in this movie were actually fairly good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, when you have such a small budget, you kind of have to do things that maybe don't look necessarily realistic, but they look disturbing.
Like that scene. Said in
that was actually a real kid they ran over.
Oh, nice.
No.
Okay, cool.
It's like the camels and Conan.
Stop.
Yeah, no, we're just like really hate kid bikes. We're just gonna straight murder them. Yeah,
dude, look, then you don't have to pay the kid, okay?
That.
It still counts as one kill, Joey. It's one
kill.
Hey,
Joey, maybe it was a moose, okay?
Anyway, that scene apparently was...
Actually, I think it's super important that we start...
I'm keep talking here. That head crush scene was brought to life because Lloyd Kaufman was backing a car up one time out of his garage and accidentally hit his younger sister. And everybody was fine, but the memory haunted him for years. So that's why he came up with
Accidentally.
that.
The memory haunted him so bad that he had to smash this kid's head twice.
Yeah, he was so traumatized that he was like, I'm going to commit this to film forever.
I mean, maybe.
Could you imagine at Christmas, like, look, sis, I put you in my movie.
Oh, man.
Love it. Love it. All right, so to go from here, I don't know where you guys want to go from here.
Well, I was going to say, I was a little bit angry that like they stole my gym attire for those two dudes in the thongs. Like,
I'll say this: everybody in the background of the gym was like acting better than the people you're focusing on. At one point, I think it was Bozo was like working out. There's this guy standing like back into his left, and he's like doing a couple lifts, and then these two guys come like walking up and bump into him. He's like, "Oh, sorry," and like the one guy like knees him, and then they start beating him up on the ground. Like, what the fuck was that? I loved it.
Obviously, Joey's never been to a gym. That happens all the time, dude.
yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
you got to fight for the equipment.
Constant.
My
I am
gym is
constantly
nice.
beating the shit out of people at my gym, Joey. Like
That's
this
why
is
you don't
nothing
skip
new.
leg
I don't
day?
understand. Yeah.
You know what I
do
thought
fight.
I did like about this movie
Whatever that-
was the 80s hijinks. Like them, like when he puts on the pink tutu and then he goes to like make out with the girl, but he's like dancing and all this. I'm like, this is just classic 80s hijinks. I mean,
Or like a snake down the aerobics conductor's shirt.
yeah, is this movie any worse than Animal House? Or Revenge of the Nerds? I think they're all as problematic as each other.
No, because those movies actually had a plot.
Dude, I'm pretty sure
Does that
that
a plot?
the main character in Revenge of the Nerds rapes somebody, and then like the movie's continuing on from there, she gets Stockholm syndrome.
I mean, hey, if Stockholm syndrome or not, if you like him, you like him. My favorite thing in this movie is that there's a sign that says no pissing on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Yeah.
But any other time,
That one was
go
good.
ahead and pee on this wall.
The scene. Let's see. Okay, so from there, after Melvin gets drenched in toxic waste,
Dude, okay, he gets drenched in toxic waste, and then Bozo's like, "Oh, he's faking it. If he can't take a joke, then he stinks."
Also, but was Melvin going to commit suicide and then happenstance that those toxic? Because he would just jump straight out that window,
out of a second-story window, like he went all the way down to
head
the basement.
first. Head first out that second story window.
I mean,
That's dark.
that's,
This movie's
well,
dark, but that's dark.
I mean, he did
No,
just
he
make out
thought
with
it was
the-
Go, yeah.
right. I mean, but I also don't think he was trying to kill himself. I think he was just trying to get away from everything that was happening because he
But-
couldn't take a joke.
but almost like get away from it permanently, like kill himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, just out the window. I mean, come on now. He clearly, he doesn't know how a door works. It was
Mhm.
very
I mean,
well
that's fair, and-
established in the beginning with Joey's favorite characters. So it's a little strange that we have.
And if you add in the 80s
we had
hijinks,
those-
he probably thought he was going to jump out the window and then land, and then get up, brush himself off, and
Yeah.
walk away.
And then there'd be a float that he would land on, and they'd start singing shout, and everyone would be going crazy. It'd be wonderful.
Explain to me why toxic waste is transported without any sort of straps holding those in place. I don't
Oh,
even
it
know
was
how they
the
stayed
80s.
on
Or
the
the
truck
lids with
That's
the lids off the
literally
belt,
how they did it in the 80s.
with the
without
toxic waste
straps. Just
bubbling
let
Yeah.
it
over.
slide around.
100%. Okay,
Actually,
so
I
see,
wanna know-
what happened was
Hold on,
Ronald
hold on.
Reagan
You
put it through.
even in
Ronald Reagan put it through so they could do that because it saved them money.
On
So rich
straps?
people didn't have to spend as much money to transport their toxic waste.
That's true.
the kids.
Actually, that is true. The thing I didn't understand is in the truck, not one little splash. The second Melvin impales himself into that stuff, all of a sudden it's just splashing everywhere and causing like unbelievable soakage. Is the only word I can describe.
I'm wondering if
Actually,
they
what happens
poured it
is
in
the
there.
two drivers, Melvin actually died. The two drivers are so ripped that the rest of the movie after Melvin jumps in there is their imagination.
that I can see.
Oh, I
That
like
makes
that
sense.
theory.
Well, I was gonna say maybe they like similar to a pouring a drink in a cup. You pour enough in so that it will have that concave I don't know, mushroom top, but not go over, not like fall over the rim. Maybe it's something like that. So
if I learned anything from TikTok videos on home economics, is that if you put a wood stick over a boiling pot, it'll never boil over. There's just a wood stick
that
there,
doesn't
Chuck. They just put a wood stick. It could never spill
That's
over.
Actually, it's called Family Consumer Sciences now.
Whatever.
Okay?
I don't
So-
know. Sorry. I just
Listen,
speaking
it's
of,
specifically in my department at work, and if I call it home ec, they get very angry at me. So I have to call it Family Consumer Sciences.
that's fair. But the fact that he jumps out and then jumps out the window, gets in the toxic waste, gets out, and is starting to die, basically. The whole town just happens to be around.
Well, the
watches
town's
him.
like-
Dude, come on. That's probably the most excitement they've gotten in like ever.
No, because there's people being run over constantly.
All right, here, let me put it to you this way, Joey. If that happened in Bluffton, what would happen?
The Apostolics would cover it up.
Okay, that's fair. But what would happen before that? Everybody would sit there and watch it
That's true. That is
because they
true.
have nothing fucking better to do.
Yeah, they took away the Kmart.
They'll
Yep.
do it. They'll do it. Do you really think more though that everybody was just excited something was happening in the town?
Yeah,
Because
that's
they
what I'm saying.
all did and laugh at him.
maybe they thought it was
About it.
performance art.
Possible.
Oh, maybe they did get really hyped that he was lit on fire.
Yeah. Like I mean,
Like
it'd be pretty crazy if someone was just running around lit on fire, and you'd be like, "Is that?"
I
supposed
actually
to
kind of appreciated that the cop's hands lit on fire, and everybody was like, "Whoa, his hands are on fire." That was the extent. Nobody tried to do anything else about it, and I really appreciated that.
That's fair.
Also, there
Um,
was very little effort to make to find a stunt double that was even close to the size of the person who played Melvin.
Yeah, no
I don't know if
shit.
you noticed that.
That's
That dude,
like,
Joey,
not
that's-
even great.
Did not even try. They were just like, "Man, who cares? This is satire. We don't
Nobody
care."
cares. Yeah. Obviously, he has a transformation that was very like Hulk like the Hulk TV show like, which I did kind of appreciate.
You mean with the really weird effect of it, like
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we Ron and I have been watch those, so that's kind of why it stuck in my head. Obviously, the police and mayor are.
Was it
good
the application
job
of the
here.
water that changed him though?
Maybe.
No, I didn't think so because
Like if he
his
never
arms didn't
tried
get
to
in there.
wash himself off.
Did they?
Yeah, that's true.
Or his face,
No,
or
because they were
his face
specifically
didn't.
on the edge of the tub.
Yeah. So I
Interesting.
don't think it did. But that also comes to the question: why did that toxic waste change him when it maybe killed other people? I mean, we don't really know.
Burst
I guess
everybody else into flames. I have no
Probably
idea.
because of his chemical imbalance.
Okay,
He has the mutant gene. Okay, that's why.
that makes sense. There we go. That makes sense.
That tracks.
All right, so let's move on to I want to talk about the Mexican restaurant
Mm-hmm.
because there's a couple scenes in there that were pretty fun. The
Worst scene in the movie happens there
which is
when the dog gets shot.
oh yeah, fuck
Yeah.
that. That was bullshit.
They went
Whoa,
straight
whoa,
for
wait,
it.
wait. It was awful. It was unfortunate. That dog was still breathing when they cut back to it, though.
That's because he was slowly dying, Chuck. You can't
I think-
train a dog not to breathe like you
I
can human.
think according to the trivia,
They
like,
actually shot the dog.
well, no,
Yeah.
that kind of disturbed
it true.
Kaufman. And while they kept the scene in, they didn't want the dog to actually be hurt, so that's why he was breathing. Like they didn't want to show like it was bad. But
Did they have
also-
to put a disclaimer at the end? Where are we in that era of movies?
No.
No.
That
Okay.
didn't happen until the 90s, right?
Yeah, that was in the 90s.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, we're not there. We are on the cusp of that.
This is the era where pita still meant a nice piece of bread, so
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
The
Gotcha.
actor who played Frank, the leader of that gang, apparently in real life he actually only had one arm. So when the Toxic Avenger ripped his arm off, that was just American arm. It was actually kind of funny, and you could
That's
actually
awesome.
you could kind of see it because they don't ever really show his right arm, and he's doing everything with his left. So that one,
it was pretty obvious when I was watching him. Like, that's a prosthetic. That dude's arm's getting ripped off. The moment he walked in, like, it didn't move at all, and then he tried to punch, and it was like you could have punched with the other hand; it would have been closer. And I was like, all right.
Yep. But that made for a fun scene.
Made for a great scene.
The guy with the painted face and the shotgun, allegedly, he quit the day after filming because he had to put a shotgun to a baby. Like, he did not like that one bit. Which
soft. I appreciated it. I thought it was hilarious. Personally, fuck them kids. That was my feeling.
That's fair.
But can we talk about afterwards when the cops are coming through after the Avenger comes in and kills all these guys, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like we got a deep fried one over here. We got the strawberry sundae over here, and a pizza with everything."
They're eating the tacos the entire time. Like, oh, free food. All right. Like,
what was weird to me too is like when after the Toxic Avenger kills those group of people in the alleyway, like right after he turns, the police come back and they're like, "Oh man, that was the most like gruesome scene we've ever seen before." But there's literally kids' heads getting squashed by cars out there. I'm like, what do you mean?
Well, but that was part of the town. They didn't have anything to do with that. These were their guys that got killed.
Gotcha.
Because,
they're drug dealer guys.
All of these, every bad doing is on the take for the German chief of police and
You're
the mayor.
right. And the mayor who loves to just, he's a bad guy because he lounges on a sandwich while he eats it. That's how.
Dude, that was so disgusting.
Allegedly, that was served to the crew, the cast and crew. I don't know if they ate it.
Hey, when you're hungry, you're hungry.
It was served to them.
Desperate times, Joey. Desperate times.
I
will say that the taco scene did give me a quote that I had written down that I was going to throw in, which was, "I've always wanted a bag of blind bitch." I almost that was almost the opening line, but I didn't.
Yeah, cornhole blind bitch.
Yeah, cornhole blind bitch. That's what it was. Yes. They did not even try in this movie to write something that wouldn't be offensive. Like, they purposely tried to make this offensive as possible,
start to finish.
Yeah.
This is like halfway through the movie, and I'm just like, there's no way that it could continually offend us.
There was at one point there was a scene where the dude just started rattling off racial slurs for seemingly no reason.
That was at the beginning, where the one of the girls, I think Bozo's girl, Julie, was like, "These are all worth X points. This is worth 1 point," and it was all racial slurs.
Yeah, I was like, this is too much. This is too much.
That was like, oh fuck that. What?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that. Why was that needed? Not needed whatsoever.
I mean, in the 80s, they thought
it was to show that they were the bad guys. Okay.
Yeah. If we didn't know, if killing a child on his bike wasn't enough.
Look, I mean, Joey will tell you he's run over a child once. According to him, it was a moose, but whatever.
That's what my Facebook story says.
And he's sticking to it.
But we didn't know they were bad guys because they ran over people, they beat up old ladies, they masturbated to mutilated kid pictures. I mean, we didn't know they were bad guys from any of that. We had to know they were bad guys because they used slurs.
Hey, don't shame their kink, man.
Dude, I will shame very few kinks, but that's one of them.
Speaking of that scene, there was a few scenes in this movie that they just repeated, that they just cycled a couple times.
In the montage of him saving all the people, I swear he picked those kids up like 4 times in that montage.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe they were just really dumb kids, or maybe they just wanted to see him again.
Kept going back, yeah.
But like, I think that one was Wanda, and like the first time we see her go into the sauna, when Slug comes in and just mess with her, she is just in the towel pouring the water on, and then the next scene she's in a bikini. Next time we see it, when Toxic Avenger comes in, it is that same opening scene in the towel, and then this time just masturbating to the.
But she gets her tits out in the second one, so I mean,
yeah. Also,
only real tits in the movie, yeah.
According, were they real? Look fake to me.
No, hers were real.
They had tan lines on it, so that's how you know they're real.
Oh no, actually, you can get tan lines put on there for free. No.
Oh, it's like the grill marks you put on a burger.
Exactly.
Allegedly, according to IMDb, there's a deleted scene where Wanda and Julie, the two girls, actually did not die. Apparently, they were seen at the police station complaining that they were attacked. Wanda just had like wrappings around her ass because it got burnt. And
let this be a lesson to you, hot ass.
And then Julie had no hair, like he had cut off all of her hair instead of burning and stabbing
Which
them
was
allegedly. But
weird
we
that
didn't
they
see that.
Yeah,
Again,
you don't see her die, which
You don't see either one of them die.
Well, I guess that's true, but you see one of them being like mutilated. I'm like, this movie was wanting so much gore. I'm shocked that they didn't show like the one girl getting stabbed
because she didn't die.
Apparently, there you go.
We saw Slug and Bozo die though.
Yep. Although Slug the one who got thrown out of the car?
Yeah.
His death wasn't that crazy. It was just kind of like, he's outside the car. But
he strangled him to death first.
But that's true. Now, Bozo, I will say, to your point, Chuck, we can't really blame Bozo. He even said it. It's not me. I'm just stressed out. People don't know how to deal with stress. If he was able to go to betterhelp.com and for only $10.99 a month.
betterhelp.com/CBR.
Yeah. He could have worked through his issues.
Don't go there. That's not actual. We don't have
I will say, betterhelp.com/professional casual is a real one.
Oh, is
and
it?
We'll get you 10% off.
Nice.
Yeah,
hey, and we're part of the Professional Casual Network, so that works out.
Go do it.
But do you know how many people, how much damage he did just trying to kill Bozo? Like, there were probably multiple deaths.
Yes, I know. But see,
there was that one crash that caused like at least one guy to die. Like 3 cars crashed into each other and one blew up.
I was kind of confused on what his like. I know his superpowers technically, like he has super strength and resilience, but like it seems like when he gets in those moods, he has like an unquenchable need to satisfy killing bad people. And I'm like, is that like he just collateral damage doesn't matter? Is that really like him being the Hulk then? Like he just can't see past that?
It's also apparently
the Hulk doesn't kill.
He has a neat ability to figure out who the bad guy is. Like the little old lady. Well, not the little old lady. The short mother that he...
The little old lady, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He knew she was bad before anyone else knew she was bad.
Exactly. Like, how? How did he know?
He can smell it on him.
Maybe.
No.
Smells like a big fat mare.
Toxic pheromones.
It's like Spidey sense.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity sense. So there's a scene where Cigar Face pops back up after getting his ass handed to him earlier, and he's got, the 6 guys surrounding Toxic Avenger, which Melvin, because they never actually say Toxic Avenger at all. Like no one ever calls him that except for the narrator. So they're
so the narrator's nobody now,
basically. So they're all surrounding Melvin, and I really appreciate that they all fire at once instead of trying to take turns, because you don't really see that very often. It's usually like, oh, it's my turn, pop. Oh, it's my turn, pop. And
the only way to take this guy down is a united front of bullets from every angle.
And
6 dudes had to unload on him to take him down. That was the plan.
I've seen that movie before.
Yep. What else we got? I'm wondering if Toxic or if Melvin's cum could make Sarah not blind anymore.
Yeah,
maybe he shoots it on her face,
or at least it would be a nice sauna because there's just like steam coming out of there.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the real a facial for real.
Oh man. What you guys have?
I love how even in a satire like this, the cops are still bad.
Oh yeah,
one cop.
Oh no, he was still bad.
Okay, speaking of the one cop, the one good cop, my favorite character in this whole movie, when he's in the ice cream shop, the little girl right next to him just licking her ice cream and agreeing, like very vigorously agreeing with everything he says in that whole scene. I was like,
yeah,
get this girl an Oscar. This little girl is amazing.
Look, people can't go around doing what's right, okay? Direct line from the cop that's supposed to be good.
Yes.
1312, guys.
He's the honest cop. The only honest cop.
Let's see. Yeah, then the movie ends with the mayor calling in National Guard, and they find the monster Melvin with Sarah at this like campsite, and National Guard comes in with a tank and a bunch of rifles, and all of the townspeople with their own guns, all aiming at the Toxic Avenger to kill him.
I thought that was a great scene, the way that it was framed, where it's just the tent and then they pull back slowly and it's like all these people. That was wonderful.
It was just one of those things where when there's one like camera pull where they're going from like the back of the crowd forward, and you see like 5 guys with shotguns pointing their guns at the back of the heads of the people in front of them.
Yeah.
It's like
Not
you're
even
not
aiming
going to
at
be
all.
hitting
Yeah.
anybody, sir, except for the people in front of you. Like,
Look, those were the people that had grudges to satisfy, that were like, this is the perfect time to do it.
It's the first
Maybe.
purge right here.
Very good. And then obviously Toxic Avenger, he stands up for himself, and the town's like, we're not going to kill you. And then the mayor tries to kill him, but apparently Toxic Avenger is bulletproof.
No. The mayor's
a bad shot.
really bad shot.
Okay.
Because he didn't hit the Toxic Avenger once.
We didn't, maybe. But
he was aiming his gun like this.
yeah, I'll say
okay?
a couple of the shots were down at the ground. I'll give you that.
That was all the higher he could lift his arm.
Well,
it's not a sandwich, so he couldn't bring it all the way up to his mouth.
He was so sweaty all of the time. Like, the first time they introduce him, his shirt is drenched, and I just thought it was the color of the shirt. And then I realized, oh no, he's just be sweaty.
I mean, it's...
it probably smells like salami, too.
Ugh. But yeah,
he looks like a dude who would smell like bologna.
Yeah.
But that is how the movie ends.
Whoa, no. The
No.
Toxic Avenger rips the mayor's guts out.
Yeah, you missed the biggest part of the whole movie. He said, let's see if you have any guts, and pulls his intestines out.
And then and like everybody freaks out at first. And then they're like, oh, you know what? It's just the mayor. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they all are celebrating, and I love this moment because then right afterwards, it was like the writer was like, you know that moment in Rocky where he keeps yelling Adrian? Yeah, let's do that, but let's just have him keep yelling Sarah.
Sarah! Well, she's blind, so she's...
Yeah, okay, sure.
Gotta know where he's at.
Oh.
Yeah, anything else you guys want to
Well,
talk
this
about?
movie really does end with one of those things where, like, the next time you're in trouble, hope that you run into the Toxic Avenger. And then, like, the greatest 80s music ever plays.
Yeah. So that's Toxic Avenger, guys. Now you guys don't have to watch it. We did
I'm
it
so
all
glad
in
you
20
invited me for this
No,
one, man.
go
No
watch
problem.
it. Also,
No
I will say this.
problem.
There is a really good documentary. I think it's still on Amazon. That is like that follows like the weird shit that happened around this movie, and like after and the series itself, and it follows like what happened to the guy who played Melvin after all this happened, where he like just disappeared and nobody could find him and nobody knew what was going on, and like he hated this movie. He hated being a part of this whole thing and like his whole
I
story.
think he directed
So-
it too,
I believe so, yes.
or directed parts of it.
So is this like an Ahmed Best situation? Like, this movie just ruined his career?
Well, I don't say it ruined Ahmed's best career. He just, he's come back to the Star Wars fandom.
Has he?
He has.
I didn't even know he was doing anything with the property anymore.
Yeah,
Wow.
'cause, what was it? A few years back, they had the whole like Legend of the Temple Star Wars version, and he was hosting that. And like
good.
I almost met him at Celebration in Chicago a few years back. So like, yeah, he's still in the fandom. Like he's still around.
Time heals all wounds, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Because I knew that was rough for him.
Fans are
back
the
then.
ones that helped him because he was on the verge of suicide.
Yeah, I
because of
remember it was like rough
movie.
back. I remember hearing all that stuff back then.
Yeah, but no, he's pulled through. He's got a great family now, and just he's appreciative of the fans.
Well, way
But
to wreck my joke. Why don't you, Joe?
no problem. I am an Ahmed Best stan. So
Did he throw out the actually before he wrecked that though?
Probably. I don't remember.
you know what? I probably did just inadvertently.
Speaking of killing things, Joey, what's the kill count?
Well, before we get there, gonna head over to the Discord, and I threw this up there and asked people what their thoughts on this movie was. Bruce Leroy said this is a wacky B movie schlock at its finest, peak Lloyd Kaufman.
Finest?
At his finest. I don't know.
Finest?
The 80s, sure. Speaks with Wind says the musical is great fun. The original film is an action dark comedy gorgasm that splashes all over my brain holes. The first 20 minutes were groundbreaking at the time. I totally disagree with that one, sir.
The first 20 minutes was all just the setup of like the terrible stuff.
Just left and right. Pony Danza says movie is fucking rad. Cigar Face gets dealt with in a glorious way. He just gets shot, but whatever. There is gratuitous nudity, loads of violence, a deformed nerd anti-hero running around in a tutu, and is spawned the Toxic Crusaders children cartoon. What's not to love? Apparently, with us for a lot. And then Speaks with Wind comes back with a whole movie is gratuitous. Ron Jeremy plays the mayor in 2 or 3 of the movies, and I believe it was the 3rd one.
Oh man, well that sounds like the gem right there.
We will get to that eventually.
Is this like when he in the peak of his career? This is when he starts looking like a fucking hedgehog.
I believe Hedgehog.
Okay,
was his peak in like the 80s?
I don't fucking know.
Have I ever told you my Ron Jeremy story when I met him?
70s, early 80s.
Okay.
No, but we need to hear it now.
Okay, so this one time I was going to the Los Angeles Convention Center for a thing called Skidazzle. It's where they sell a bunch of like snowboarding and ski equipment for super cheap, like once a year. And as we pull up into the parking lot to pay to get our parking ticket, Ron Jeremy, no joke, is in the thing taking people's money and giving them tickets. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I found out there was also a porn convention going on the other side of it. And he was just bored and was going out there and like messing with like the staff and stuff. And they were like, you should like take tickets and stuff. So I'm just like rolling through, giving my money to Ron Jeremy and getting a parking ticket from him. It was the weirdest, like surrealist thing ever.
I love it. I think when I met him, it was at the Gathering. When I was with that. And it was myself and Justin.
Oh God.
I think Sharon at the time too. We were going up to his girlfriend.
Shannon,
whatever. Sorry, my bad. Or I guess I should say wife. They're married now.
Wait, what?
I'm pretty sure they're married. Yeah.
Anywho, continue with your story.
Yeah, I know that's weird. Right, coming from Justin.
Yeah.
We went up. We were getting ready to go up, say hi, like talk to him, and I think he got slapped by somebody else, and like the security guards had to like come up and like break him apart. And it was just like, well, that's weird.
Sounds like the Gathering.
That sounds like a gathering.
Yeah, yep. Totally. But that slap was intended to be like a loving slap.
Oh no, there was
it was probably because he said something terrible.
No,
there was
he probably had that coming.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to remember, when they like you, they throw Fago at you. When they hate you, they throw other things at you.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
whatever they can find,
like these hands.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the kill count. I counted 22. The
surprisingly low,
27. So I may have missed some. I don't know. I think they may have counted like Julie and Wanda, who, according to the deleted scenes, did not die. So I don't know. I got 22.
Ron, the other 3 deaths that you don't have.
So wait, hold on. Batman killed more people than Toxic Avenger did.
Yeah,
that seems legit. Actually, Batman's a psychopath.
Yes, that tracks. Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, if we count the total of the kills in the Batman, it's way more. We still got 3 other movies of Toxic Avenger, so we can do.
I still don't think he's going to catch up with Batman.
I don't know. We'll see next couple movies.
I don't know. Call me when Batman kills someone with a mop. Then we'll talk.
Well, he doesn't kill him with a mop. He throws a mop down their gut or down their throat afterwards.
I guess that's true.
No, he sets a gem on their face is what he really, because none of that actually made any.
Fair. Ron, what is our bingo?
Okay, so I'm going to start with inability to control power, because obviously he had a problem with that. Unexplainable science, comic logic, hero kills, product placement. We had a montage.
Yes, we did.
Wait, what
There's
was
a
the
lot
product
of-
placement? A taco?
The Budweiser
No.
underneath the tires or underneath the pedals in the
There-
car.
Oh, you're right.
There was a couple
You're
other
right.
ones too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but that
U-Haul
was the only
in
one that
there.
really stuck out to me.
You know for a fact those were not actually product placement.
No.
Like they were just like, let's
They were
see if we
legit.
can get this in the movie without getting in trouble.
Yes.
But then we also had misogyny, sexual innuendo, and animal cruelty.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's 100% true.
Yeah, when they made the animal kiss Melvin, that's pretty cruel. That's the only cruel thing they can do to an animal in this whole movie.
Oh shit! All right, so Spawn Cape Continuum.
Was
Wait,
it-
are there
so
special
out of-
effects?
I count the practical effects as well.
Oh, okay.
I would argue that 42.5 trillion.79 Spawn Capes. Like this still looks up. Like, still looks good.
Oh yeah, no, it looked
No,
wonderful.
Still
definitely,
looks graphic.
Yeah. Actually, I was
85
watching
and
it with Charity, and she had made me rewind it to watch the part where the dude gets his head crushed with the weight machine
Yeah, dude.
because it looked fucking awesome.
Yes, because they actually killed somebody. It's actually
See, that's what I've been saying.
That's how you get the
they
best
had to
footage, right?
sell it.
It's a
That's
snuff
It
film,
makes it
guys.
so good.
He wanted to die for his art. It's totally fine.
Yeah, everything's great. Made
love it.
sense. But like
love
the
it.
practical effects in this looked better than what we saw in He-Man when it came to like practical effects.
And
Oh,
He-Man came
100%.
out. When did He-Man come out? That was
87?
Was that 87? Because I know
Maybe.
this
Wow.
is 84. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, and like a ridiculously smaller budget. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like the practical effects in this look better than Batman. Like
That's
no,
also
like,
accurate.
I would like this for a lot of the time. I think when we look at special effects and practical effects and things like that, it's the simpler the better. But like finding that one thing that they're good at and then honing on it, right? He clearly had somebody who could do prosthetics really, really well. Like the taco hands, the guy who got his hands shoved in the fryer and stuff, right? Like I have seen that. That was accurate. That
Yeah.
was a very accurate representation of what that looks like. I'd almost argue that they actually fried that man's hands.
It's a good possibility.
It's canon now.
Yeah, no one's going to prove me other until somebody proves me otherwise. It's canon. That is the rule of this show.
Very, very true. Well, alrighty, it's time for our scores. We'll go ahead and start with you, Jordan. Out of 10, what do you rate this movie?
I did not like this movie as much as most people did. Even though I'm joking about it.
It's a cult classic, allegedly.
It's allegedly. I argue again that I love Return to the Killer Tomatoes, Parents. Like I love schlocky 80s films. This one did not capture my heart like those did. So I'm gonna go with a 1.
Ooh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. If
This
I
is
gave
disrespectful.
Batman and Robin a 2, I have to give this a 1.
Do you feel like if you had seen this at like
You gave Batman
12
Robin
or
a
13,
2.25, sir.
do you feel like if you saw this at like 12 or 13, like just the peak of just adolescence, that this would have like now in 2022 or 2023, whatever the hell year we're in, would have like it would have been like a nostalgic bump for you?
No, because I feel like the problem is I wouldn't have appreciated what it was even less at that age. I wasn't like I was really into just straightforward films when I was that young. It wasn't until my adulthood where I found appreciation in things that were like, oh, this is supposed to be bad, and that's why it's good.
Gotcha.
So I probably
I
would.
just
I probably
figured-
would have hated it more if I watched it back then.
That's
I
fair.
figured violence, boobs, like violence and boobs. That's what I cared about when I was 12.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
didn't
mean?
like violence
so-
when I was young either. Anything that was like overtly violent, I steered away from. So like I never really watched slasher films or anything until I was like 18.
That tracks.
Chuck, what you
Thanks.
got? I
I'm
didn't know
gonna.
I was like 16.
I'm going to. It's hard. So like, I love this movie. I look at it, I go, this is satire that's satirically satire-ish. You know what I mean? Like, it's a satire about a satire about a satire to the point where it's not even satire anymore. It's just offensive, and that's why it's satire. I also remind me to tell you guys after off air, because it's definitely an off air conversation, but knew somebody who worked for Trauma Vision for like a hot minute.
Okay.
So that was interesting to find out as well. But I'm gonna shoot high strictly out of nostalgia of just the things that I love and the offensive, and I'm gonna say 9.7.
Are you shitting me right now?
Oh my god!
I am not. This is a 9.7.
Fuck you.
Aren't you glad I did a 1 now?
Kinda. Yeah. This does not need to be a 9.7. Jesus.
It is almost a look.
No.
It does exactly what it wants. No. This is doing exactly what it was meant to do. Be it a offensive, satirical movie. Do you know what didn't do the thing it was supposed to do? Fucking Steel, man. Steel didn't do fucking shit that it was supposed to do. And you made me watch that absolute fucking dumpster fire. You know what doesn't do the thing that I wanted it to do? Batman. Batman Returns. To a lesser extent, Batman Forever. Those did not, they wanted to be big blockbuster movies that were going to blow our brains apart, right? And they didn't. They're wonky and they're campy and they're stupid. This is exactly what it wanted it to be.
And it still blew brains apart.
Still blew brains apart. And it had boobs. So like it gets really high ranked on my thing. When you guys judge this, when I look at this, I go, does this score good because it became the movie that it wanted to be? Yes, this is exactly the movie it wanted to be. It deserves a high rating. It's that good.
I will give you, I mean, it's your rating.
Look, it's his opinion. He gets to rate it however he wants to.
It's like your explanation of why you gave the rating. Okay, fair.
I think if I watched this before you made me watch Steel, I probably wouldn't have scored an hour, but you know, you made me watch Steel first. So.
It's just the way it came in the order. It's not my fault.
Oh yeah.
Actually, you made the list, therefore it is your fault, but
yes, but I didn't have these in there originally. Otherwise, we will watch these like a year ago.
That's fair.
All right, Ron, what you got?
So I'm giving it a 3.5, which is pretty high. Okay, but it did have some gratuitous nudity. The effects were fan-fucking-tastic. And it still had a little bit of nostalgia for me because I did watch it at a young age.
That's fair. And that's all kind of similar to me. So I am also giving it a 3.5, which gives us a combined score. I mean, everything you said, I agree with. Chuck, I understand where you're coming from. You are correct, but I still can't rate it higher than that. Just saying. And Jordan, your score is just okay. I appreciate it. I really do. Especially
my score. I knew Chuck was going to pull some of this bullshit out.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice. This is why we love having Jordan on.
That gives it a combined score of 4.425, or I can just say 4.3. 4.43. There we go. Because math. Which on our list drops it in at, where are we at here? 4.43. Number 41 out of 59 movies. It is just behind Howard the Duck and just above Flash Gordon.
That's actually a pretty good placement for it.
I was gonna say that actually sounds.
No, it should be way higher than what we gave Howard the Duck.
It should be under Howard the Duck.
I would watch Return of the Swamp Thing over this movie. Again, I'm just saying, and I
don't know. The boobs are better in this one because you don't get to see boobs in the Return of Swamp Thing.
That's true. Very true.
Ridiculous.
Whatever. Look. Just be happy. You had an almost perfect movie, right?
Speaking of crazy movies here, before we wrap it up, I'm curious if you guys have checked out the trailer for that new movie,
Which one? Sorry, you broke up there.
Glorious. Have you guys heard of this movie?
I've never heard of it.
No. Okay, so the premise, go watch the trailer. The premise is this dude who's like going through a mental breakdown, stops at this. It just came out too. He stops at this rest stop and he goes in to like clean himself up. And then someone speaks to him from a stall that has a glory hole. And what you find out is it's pretty much a Satan who lives in this thing with a glory hole and is voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Oh, fuck. What?
And he starts forcing this dude to do crazy things under the guise that he has to do this to save the world. Go watch this trailer. I can't wait. I want to see this movie so bad. It's a Shudder original.
Wow. Just wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I figured, hey,
Have
if
you
we're
guys
talking
seen
about the Toxic
Cocaine Bear
Avenger,
yet?
it's right there.
Seen what?
Seen what?
Cocaine Bear yet?
Not yet, but I want to.
All right. It's on my list of things I want to go see. And I, for some reason, feel like I need to see it in theaters. I don't know why.
I'm right
Because
there
it's a
with you, and I
spectacle.
don't know if I'll be able to go see it in theaters. That's the problem.
I'm still trying to see Ant-Man here. I need to carve some time out for that.
It's not bad. It's
Oh
okay.
yeah, I forgot about that.
I heard it was fine. Yeah.
Well, we got what movie's coming out this week?
MODOK's in it, so I'm on board.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I've got to go see Shazam next week,
Mhm.
so I can talk about it on my other podcast. But I know D&D is coming out at the end of the month, so
Oh yeah, that's gonna
look
be
forward
good.
to that.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Speaking of D&D, if you check out the other amazing programs here on the Professional Casual Network, head over to professionalcasual.com.
They
Hey,
don't
you
play
know what?
D&D.
While you're
They
at
play Pathfinder and fourth edition.
Ooh, he got you there.
It's the same fucking
Games
thing.
like D&D.
Look, whoa. Pathfinder 2e is way different than D&D, and Wafurb is way different than either one of
I'm
those.
Games
sorry.
like
no.
D&D
I'm sorry.
to the outside people.
I'm sorry, isn't it all stupid sword and sorcery and a bunch of nerds sitting around rolling dice and everyone pretending like Dan's a cool person? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it is over there. So let's just keep going with that, okay?
Wait.
But
In
of
which
course,
one of those
head over-
podcasts is Dan a cool person?
There is an understanding
'Cause
that Dan
He's
is
a bad.
cool.
He's the bad GM in one of them, and in the other one he plays a fucking nerd rat. So I don't think so.
That sounds amazing. I
Shut
want to
up,
be a
Jordan.
nerd rat.
It is the understanding of us here at the network that Dan is a cool guy. Okay? Great. Sometimes we get sent to human resources over it. That being said, of course you can support this show as well as all the other shows here at the Professional Casual Network. Listen, we tell you all the time, head over to patreon.com/professional casual as little as $1. Help support this show, get access to that hot Discord where we are just getting in there. I'm going to make a poll here in about a second about whether in determining if Joey is in fact a whore. It was like a whole thing that we have to figure out.
I
now.
already made the poll. And
Yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it in the Discord.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna
fine.
actually make it in the Discord, and you can
I like-
only vote
I like
via
to have
emojis.
our Twitter or our Facebook Messenger with just three of us. It was nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, but in my defense, you didn't have a straight up yes answer, so I had to add one.
That's fair.
That's true. That's true. You did. But or head over to twitch.tv/professional casual network, where every Tuesday night now, I think, they are playing Marvel Crisis Protocol battle reports live in person, in your face, in full color. And you know, you can give a little follow ski and a little sub ski over there. We'll also get you in there. But the perk, the beauty, that $3.01 tier to support this show directly. That's where you need to be. That's what you need to do. Get that extra content. We're coming in hot with some new ideas for Patreon specifically, so stay into it. Do you love me ranting for 5 minutes with nobody else talking? Because that's what you're going to get from now on. That's what we determined. That's what the show is going to be. So there you go. We're calling it, you know what we're going to call it? Back Issues in the Long Box. That's what we're going to call it. That's what that show is going to be.
I like that.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
a good one.
All right.
Yeah, it's just me ranting for 5 minutes about whatever stupid thing they made me do at my job. That being
Is that
said,
any
ladies and
different than
gentlemen,
just
boys-
following you on Instagram?
You are correct. You can follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. I am Kicked Out of the Hood, no Ian Kicked. Follow my hobby page over on TikTok, Kicked Out of the Hobby, no Ian Kicked. Or follow my culinary endeavors over at Kicked Out of the Kitchen, no Ian Kicked.
Love it. Jordan, where can they find you?
BS and craft beer on Instagram, and that's about it.
Awesome. Raul?
Good at this game on Instagram, TikTok. Add an R to the end of it for Twitter. and probably some other places that you probably shouldn't look. And on, of course, this wonderful show here, and sometimes on Joey's other show.
Yeah. Walk
Walk Through the Multiverse.
Yeah. You can find this show, Comic Book Rundown, on Twitter at Comic Rundown, on Instagram, Comic Book Rundown. Email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice, or through the social medias. We'll read them on an upcoming episode. Our song was done by Cam, formerly of Wreck My Podcast, formerly one half of the Sex Turtles.
Formerly of the human race, yes.
Yeah, now he is a doctor, or almost a doctor.
Almost a doctor.
Almost a
doctor.
And we've got some merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic. So thank you all for joining. Our next movie we'll be covering in a couple weeks is Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo. It is currently on HBO Max. So as long as you have the Max, you can watch it there.
And you won't invite me back for that one because that's probably actually an enjoyable movie.
You want to? Look, if you want to come back, we can.
I actually don't watch I've never watched Teen Titan. I just know everyone loves it.
That was.
Wait. Is this Teen Titans or is this Teen Titans Go?
Teen Titans. We'll get to the Teen Titans Go movies eventually, which are also good.
We'll see.
Yep. Anyway, so thank you all for listening. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bart.